Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. Well, hello, it's Kim here, and welcome to today's episode. Now, if you feel uncomfortable with the idea of selling your services as a coach, or you feel like you're not really any good at sales, then this episode is for you, especially if you're having trouble getting people to say yes on discovery calls and enroll in your packages and programs, then you are definitely going to want to stay tuned. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about why your sales approach isn't working and what to do about it. And specifically, I'm going to reveal 5 big mistakes that most coaches tend to make and what to do about it. Now, before we get there, let me just tell you about my free online training. It's called the 4-Part Formula for Replacing Your 9-to-5 Income with a Coaching Business You Love. Inside this training, I'm going to teach you my 4-part framework, my proven method for how I created a freedom-based business for myself and how I've helped all my clients do the same. Honestly, there has never been a better time to build an online business that gives you freedom and flexibility and allows you to work from home or wherever you like and set your own schedule and truly create a career that gives you so much fulfillment. And I want to help as many people as possible to do that. So if that sounds appealing, then you're definitely going to want to watch my training for free by signing up at drkimfoster.com/business training. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic on sales mistakes and discovery calls. Now, I've actually tackled this issue on this podcast before in episode 7, which was called The Art of Sales. And I'm sure that I'm going to talk about sales again and again because this is such a key thing for growing your business as a coach. You could be doing all the marketing in the world, but if you're not actually able to help guide a prospect toward saying yes to your services, then your business is not going to succeed. But a lot of coaches don't pay attention to this piece. They put all their attention into being all out there, engaging on social media, networking, trying to drum up interest, but then they can't complete the process. When they actually get somebody on the phone, they're not sure how to actually conduct an effective sales conversation and guide them to a yes. And they're kind of like fumbling about and it's very awkward and it feels terrible for everybody. So not to worry, I've got you. This is something that I focus on with my clients and group participants, and I devote an entire module to sales inside my Business Academy for Coaches. I help my clients grow their businesses by giving them lots of strategy and systems and tactics, but I also help them with sales training so that they can enroll the right clients into their coaching programs and grow their businesses quickly. And today I'm going to do my best to give you several useful tips that you can start using right away. Now, if you do want to go back and listen to my previous episode, The Art of Sales, I definitely recommend that because inside that episode, I talk about how to embrace sales and how to feel more aligned and authentic in your sales process. But in today's episode, I'm going to dive even deeper into sales and talk about the 5 key reasons why your sales approach isn't working. This is especially for you if you've had the experience of getting a potential client on a discovery call and you were all excited to work with this person, but you just couldn't get her to say yes. So let's talk about 5 possible reasons why you might not be having success on your discovery calls and what you can do about it. So reason number 1 is when you don't believe in yourself or believe in what you're offering. A lot of new coaches struggle with belief. They struggle with not having the experience that gives them a real grounded belief in what they can do for people. And if that's you, if you're trying to convince people to buy from you, but inside you've got this nasty bit of self-talk happening that questions the value of what you're offering, your potential client is going to pick up on that energy. It's important to truly believe that what you're offering can help the person that you're talking to, which of course is something that I'm actually assuming for all of these tips. Certainly on a discovery call, it's important for you to actually decide whether you do want to work with this person, whether it's a good fit, whether you really can help her. But assuming that this is the case, then they need to feel that conviction in you, which starts with you actually holding that belief, that conviction. Now, if this is something that you're struggling with, you're not sure that you really do believe it, then that's something you need to explore. Now, this is not your fault, especially if you're brand new to coaching or building your business and you haven't really had that experience and the time that it takes to build up the belief. But you have to start working on that right now. There also may be an element of imposter syndrome at play too. I've seen that a lot. And if that's the case, then I encourage you to go back and listen to the episode that I released a few months ago about imposter syndrome. I'll also link that in the show notes. But the point is, when you're talking to a potential client from a place of true belief and you know that you have this client's best interests at heart and you know that you can help them achieve what they desire, then that comes across on a call. They will feel this energy and they will begin to believe it themselves. When you try to convince people to do something that you deep down aren't convinced of yourself, then that is not going to work and you won't have successful sales calls that way. Okay, so the second problem that you might be experiencing on your sales calls is coaching too much. Now, coaches and experienced coaches are notorious for actually coaching on discovery calls. After all, you're a coach, so nobody can blame you for coaching. But this is not the time to coach on your discovery calls. I want you to resist the temptation to jump in and try to fix their issues. This is really one of the hardest things to implement, but you need to keep your mouth shut when the client is telling you about all their issues and struggles. There definitely is a place for telling them how you can help, but it has to happen in the right way. There are two things that can happen when you try to coach on your calls. The first issue is that you coach somebody too much and you actually kind of give them a band-aid solution and they feel better temporarily. And this makes them think that they're okay and that they're all sorted and they don't really need you right now. So if you're giving too much coaching on the discovery call, they're not going to invest with you, which is not serving them, of course, because you and I both know that there's only so much that can actually be accomplished on a single call in terms of creating lasting change. The other issue you might run into when you try to coach your prospect is that you might be opening up some stuff, but you don't really have the time or the tools right then to actually help them overcome their challenges right then and there. One of my mentors gave the analogy of taking them into surgery and opening them up to try and fix the problem, but not having enough time to finish the job and close the incision. When you try to coach somebody, but you can't really find a solution that seems feasible or reasonable to them, in the end, they're going to feel even more confused and you both feel frustrated because now you've run out of time. So I'm hoping that you can see how coaching on a sales call is not a good idea. Either you coach them too much and they think that they're okay for now and they go away, or you don't coach them enough and you don't help them at all on this one call. So they're frustrated and think that the call was not as valuable as it could have been. And then, of course, they're not going to invest with you because of that. What I encourage my clients to do instead on a discovery call is focus on talking to your prospect about their goals and their ideas and find out what's really going on, what is stopping them, what have they tried in the past, what are the pain points that they're experiencing, and then discuss an overall strategy and what needs to happen for them to change going forward, instead of trying to find solutions right then and there and coaching them right on the discovery call. Let's move on to reason number 3, which is not having an abundance mindset. So I completely get it, especially in the beginning and when you're trying to grow your business, you can certainly feel fairly desperate to get this person to say yes. But I'm telling you that desperation comes across and it will definitely push away your potential client. Instead, you need to cultivate an abundance mindset and approach this call with a certain detachment to outcome. So let me talk a little bit more about what that means. I really don't enjoy the term closing techniques. I don't like that approach because it feels like it's all about your agenda, that the goal is to close them no matter what. And that is not good. For one thing, not all prospects will be a match for you, and that's okay. But also, the approach of closing means that the whole call is all about your agenda, what's best for you, regardless of what's actually best for them. In my opinion, closing is the wrong energy and approach. It's not a good way to set out, and it doesn't set up a good foundation for your coach-client relationship. In my worldview, you want to achieve an energy of partnership, not pursuit. So when you have an attachment to a particular outcome, as in making the sale or closing the sale, then that desire for money or the sale is going to make you come across as needy or desperate or lacking in confidence. When a potential client senses that energy, she is most likely going to decide to find someone who is more confident and professional. But how do you overcome that desperation for a sale and approach the call with a certain detachment to outcome? Well, that's where cultivating an abundance mindset comes in, knowing that the universe has your back, that there are more than enough clients out there for you, and that there is more than enough money for everybody. That's when you can really step into this mindset, and it will free you to be very present on a call and decide if this is a client you can best serve and that you really do want to work with. You can cultivate an abundance mindset through a lot of different strategies, like doing a daily wealth consciousness practice, reading books on money mindset, taking a course on money mindset, working on your own self-talk, and creating abundant affirmations for yourself. There are lots of things that you can do, but it does take intention and practice. Okay, so the fourth issue you might be dealing with if you are not having success on your discovery calls is not going deep enough with your potential client, and specifically not going deep enough into their pain points and getting to the truth of what is really going on, and not being able to hold real space for real emotions. When you're not going deep enough on your sales conversations, your potential clients are not going to see the real reasons why they should be working with you. They may only see the surface level reasons, and those may not be enough for them to say yes to a premium price. Now, especially when it comes to high ticket selling and premium packages, you want to be able to go to the deepest level with your potential client and talk about the things that really matter to them, to get them to take action and to see the importance of investing in you and your services. In addition, you need to show them how important it is right now to take action for them. But this isn't you telling them why it's important. This is all about asking questions so that they say it out loud and understand for themselves why it's important. There are a lot of different ways that you can uncover this truth, but you could try asking them, what happens if you don't do this right now? What will happen with your family? What impact will this have on your health, on your career? How will you feel about yourself in 1 year from now if you don't take action right now and change this? Really help them see what the consequences are of not moving forward right now. On a recent call with a potential client, she actually cried a little bit on the call. Now, I wasn't trying to make her cry, but I was asking her some fairly deep questions about what was going on in her life. And I gave her the space to really uncover what was going on and what she really wanted for her life. And when she spoke it out loud, she got kind of choked up and said that she had never actually spoken those words out loud to anyone before. It was a powerful moment, and I was actually honored to have been able to help her have that experience. Now, did she enroll in my program? You bet she did, because if that's the kind of breakthrough that can happen in a 30-minute call, imagine what can happen while working together for several months. I knew it and she knew it too. And that's the power of going deep. I didn't have to tell her that working with me could change her life. She felt it for herself. Finally, let's talk about reason number 5, which is not having structure for your calls. So here's why structure is important. When you follow a proper structure on your discovery calls, especially at the opening of the call, it really allows you to set the tone for the call, and you'll feel much more confident and in control instead of all awkward and fumbling. And at the same time, your prospect feels supported and heard. Having a structure and a flow for your calls also removes the need for closing techniques, which I've already said I dislike, because taking prospects through a process will naturally bring them on a journey so that by the time you get to the end, they've actually already come to a decision. Also, following a structure for your discovery calls will prevent this call from being a friendly chit-chat that doesn't actually go anywhere. That said, many coaches do wonder about the awkwardness of following a structured flow, but in fact, it feels quite the opposite. Of course, you do need to practice it a few times, and yes, the first couple of times that you follow a specific structure, it may feel somewhat awkward, but as one of my mentors always said to me, it's always awkward before it's elegant. But Once you've gained familiarity with the elements, the flow and structure will actually feel quite natural. In a sense, you can think of your discovery calls as decision coaching. You're coaching people to come to an empowered decision. And if you're familiar with the coaching model, you'll know that a coaching conversation does have structure. It's not just a rambling, aimless chit-chat. Now, the actual flow and structure of a proper discovery call is more in-depth than I'm going to get into here in this podcast episode. And of course, this is something that I teach all my clients and group participants inside my programs, but I'm hoping that just knowing the importance of having a structure for your calls will help you embrace the idea and begin to create your own flow. Or, of course, if this is something you want much more help from me on, then I encourage you to book a call with me and let's talk about whether I can help you. Okay, so let's just recap those 5 big mistakes that coaches tend to make on their discovery calls, the key reasons why potential clients aren't saying yes. 1, not believing in yourself and in what you're offering. 2, coaching too much on the discovery call and trying to fix them. 3, not having an abundance mindset. 4, not going deep enough and getting to the real truth. And 5 is not having a structure for your call. So now I would love to hear from you. Tag me on Instagram or Facebook and let me know which one of those 5 mistakes you realize you have been making on your discovery calls and what you're going to do to change it on your very next discovery call. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed this topic. I hope it helped you feel more empowered and in control in your sales process and on your discovery calls. And above all, I hope it changes how you conduct your calls so that you hear the word yes much more often now. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. As always, take care, stay well, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now. Thanks so much for listening. If you are ready to build a coaching business that gives you freedom and flexibility and allows you to make a meaningful impact in the world, but you're not really sure how to get started or what you need to do to attract the perfect clients and grow your income, then let me be your coach. I would love to teach you my exact framework, my proven method for how I created a freedom-based business for myself and how I've helped dozens of clients do the same thing and create a life that is better than their dreams. Get started by heading over to drkimfoster.com/business training, and there you can sign up for my free online training called The 4-Part Formula for Replacing Your 9-to-5 Income with a Coaching Business You Love.